Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is another plan with me video, and we will be setting up my bullet journal for February 2022. So I honestly can't believe that January is already coming to an end. It's kind of sad, but February is coming and February is my birthday month. So I'm really looking forward to the month, and now without further ado, let's start planning. So for this month, I actually contemplated on whether I should do a birthday theme since it's my birthday month, or a Chinese New Year theme because Chinese New Year also falls in the month of February, and coincidentally, my birthday, which is the 2nd of February, is also the second day of Chinese New Year for 2022. So it's really a big coincidence that my birthday is the second day of Chinese New Year this year, because the date for Chinese New Year is different every year. It's not like Christmas where the 25th of December is always Christmas Day. For Chinese New Year, the dates varies from year to year because the dates of the celebration follows the phases of the moon. And Chinese New Year always begin with the new moon that occurs sometime between the 21st of January to the 20th of February. So since this happened once in a blue moon, I decided to just go for a Chinese New Year, or you can say a Lunar New Year theme. And as you can see here, I started drawing a border design that you might see a lot in Asian culture, and then at the top I drew some lanterns, and in the center I will be drawing a cute tiger in traditional Chinese clothing holding a Chinese scroll that says February. And the reason why I chose the tiger out of all the animals in the Chinese zodiac is because the year of 2022 is the year of the tiger. So it makes good sense that I'm drawing a tiger for my cover page. And now for the color palette, you'll be seeing a lot of red and golden yellow throughout the whole setup because red and gold are the traditional colors displayed during Chinese New Year. And we Chinese love these two colors very much because the color gold symbolizes wealth and prosperity, whereas the color red symbolizes happiness and good fortune. But there's actually a legend behind why we use the color red all the time, like why we always hang red lanterns in front of our houses, why we wear red traditional clothing, and why we give money in a red envelope. So if you're curious on why we do all of these things, I'm going to tell you a legend, and it begins where a ferocious monster named Nian with sharp teeth and horns would go out of its hiding place by the end of Lunar New Year to hunt people and livestock. Therefore, every time before the New Year's Eve, all the villagers would escape to the remote mountains to avoid Nian's attack. But things took a turn from another New Year's Eve, so when all the dwellers were bursting to take refuge in the mountains, the village welcomed a strange old man. With silver hair but bright piercing eyes, he was a beggar in rags walking with a stick. And drowned in great panic, the villagers didn't really care about the newcomer, but a granny from the east of the village came to the old man and gave him some food. Besides giving him food, the granny also repeated the terror of Monster Nian and persuaded him to flee with the others. However, the old man requested to stay one night in the old woman's house, and he promised that he would expel away the Monster Nian. The granny was not fully convinced of his promise, and she continued her persuasion. However, the old man did not change his mind, and having no alternative, the old woman left and escaped to the mountain alone. Now, at midnight, the monster broke into the village, but it sensed the subtle change of the atmosphere. In the past, the entire village was in dead darkness, but at that time, the house in the east was lighting. Approaching to the house slowly, it found all the doors and windows pasted with red papers and many candles lit inside the house. After seeing all of that, the beast trembled and started glaring at all the strange things. Caught by rage and irritation, it swooped to the front door, and at that very moment, loud cracking sound burst in the courtyard, daunting Nian not to come any closer. And then the front door opened in a flash, and the old man came out in red clothes, roaring with laughter. The monster Nian was gravely frightened and fled through the dark night. Till the next day, the villagers returned back from the mountains and was surprised at the undamaged scene of the village. Soon the villagers were enlightened that the monster was afraid of loud noises, bright lights, and the color red. So that's why Chinese New Year celebrations often include firecrackers, fireworks, red clothes, red envelopes, and decoration. And I hope this kind of voiceover is fun for you guys, unlike the usual voiceover where I just narrate what I'm doing with the spreads. And now let's move on to the next 2 pages that are going to be my habit and mood tracker. So as you can see here, for the title, I did the Chinese scroll doodle like the one from my cover page, but this time it's going to be in vertical and written as habit and mood. And if you noticed from last month, I did my mood tracker on the left page and my habit tracker on the right page, but for this month, because I wanted to have my lantern habit trackers to look like they are hanging from the top, I decided to draw my habit trackers on the top half of the pages, and the other half will be for my mood tracker. So for my habit tracker, I drew 5 hanging lanterns of different shapes, each representing one habit that I want to track. I usually track 6 habits for each month, but there's clearly not enough space for me to draw another lantern over here, so I just went for 5 habits this month. And by the way, I am really happy how beautiful and festive these lantern habit trackers turned out. They really look like the ones that are hanged outside my house during the holidays. And this also kind of sparked a memory where my parents and I would decorate the house with red lanterns, red paper cuttings, red door couplets known as chunlian, and also these LED firecracker lights. I remember I was so excited to turn on the LED firecracker lights at night when I was little. So yeah, enough with the flashback, and let's move on to our mood tracker. So for my mood tracker, I use the graph layout where I write down the days of the month horizontally and the moods on the left. And I also drew in the red border design again because I thought the page looked kind of plain without it. And besides that, I also drew in some more doodles of the red envelopes and some Chinese gold ingot. And lastly, to complete the spread, I drew in some fireworks because there's no Chinese celebrations if there's no loud fireworks and firecrackers. And I guess that's all for this mood and habit tracker spread. So moving on to the next 2 pages are my trusty budget tracker. So if you watch all of my previous bullet journal setups, you will notice that I usually use 1 page for this budget tracker, but for this month, I decided to use 2 full pages for it. So on the left page is going to be where the title is, and also 2 sections for my income and savings. Whereas on the right page, I will be using it entirely for my expenses because I know I am somehow going to spend a lot of money on stationeries or something that I don't really need. I honestly need to control my spending, so that's why I added the savings section so that I can know how much I saved up for this month. And yeah, for all the 3 income, saving, and expenses, you can see me using the Chinese scroll design for it. And to make the spread more festive, I drew in some more of the red envelopes and Chinese gold ingot. And I guess that's all for this month's budget tracker spread. And now, the last spread for today's video is going to be my first weekly spread of the month. So for this month as well, I will be setting up only 1 weekly spread in this video, but I will try my best to upload another video for the other 3 weekly spreads for February, most probably in the 1st or 2nd week of the month. And yeah, back to the spreads. So as you can see here, I drew 7 lanterns of different shapes like hanging from the top, and each of them is going to represent the first 7 days of the month respectively. And below the lanterns, I will be dividing the space into 2, one is for my events, and another one will be for my tasks. I recently just tried this kind of layout in January, and I decided to bring this layout back because I just like how organized it is. And yeah, I guess that's how my first weekly spread of February looks like, and I can't wait to use this spread. It looks so festive and also makes me excited for Chinese New Year. So now, here's the final flip through of my bullet journal setup for February 2022. So although the setup was really doodle intensive and took me quite a long time to set up, but I am really happy of how it turned out in the end. So if you also like the setup, please remember to like and subscribe and follow my Instagram and kofi at lootengstudio. Happy Chinese New Year, 新年快乐 to the ones who are celebrating. I wish you good fortune and lots of happiness, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.